not in, like, on the first session, like, if you want to make it to the professional level, like,
Yeah.
that's cool with me. Let's
Right.
do this.
You're here.
As long as you
Right.
want to be here. But the problem is when Johnny comes in, and then in the middle of the workout you realize that the parent wants Johnny here.
Right.
Johnny doesn't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an awkward conversation to have, especially because the parent wants them to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
But if Johnny doesn't want to, then everyone's wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get paid the same, but it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to me, at least.
So I think honestly, like, this is something that's very interesting, because I think everybody's been alive and ever played sports, especially at least in America. I'll definitely speak for this area, but of course we're here. We're in the heart of. Well, actually, Ashland's got kind of three major sports that fit the area, like
Yeah.
basketball, of course,
Okay.
football, of
Okay.
course, and baseball, are like three major sports. Now that being said, we
Okay.
actually have a lot of other good sports here. The
Yeah.
girls volleyball teams in both Ashland and the county together.
Yeah.
Soccer teams. I mean, we have a lot of good sports. But if I look at who's got the signage in the front yards,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
support these clubs even if they don't have any players in them,
Absolutely.
right? So that of course creates a big amount of pressure because everybody wants their child to be there, especially like this year the boys are undefeated basketball.
Yeah.
There's so many kids right now pretending to
Yes.
be Huddy and Colin and
It's
stuff on
absurd,
their
dude.
you know what I
It's
mean?
so crazy.
How awesome for that.
It,
And for
it
Coach
really
Mace.
is cool.
How do you deal with that? So Johnny, and I know you probably had to deal with it, and it might not be the same way each time, but Johnny's in there. Johnny's here because his dad or mom is bringing him there, paying for the thing. Johnny's showing up because that's what he's supposed to do, because if he doesn't, whatever.
Yeah, that's rough.
So how do you reconcile some of those situations? Because honestly, like, I can see how tough it is. Not only because you're like the kid's going through the paces, like, so you're getting paid either way, but also understanding the type of person you are. You're like, that's not really what's best for the kid. You don't want to overparent, but at the same time, too, sometimes you might be the only voice to kind of maybe level that parent's aspirations.
I've had to do that before, and it's super awkward, man.
So let's. So that's
awkward
awkward. So
conversation,
people
dude.
love to listen to awkward things.
Gosh.
So talk about that scenario that comes to your mind, and of course we'll protect the names to protect the innocent there. But
I mean, usually it's you can sense it, and after you've worked with so many kids for so long, you know when a kid's trying or when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most apparent thing ever. And so, I mean, first thing, right, you just call time out in the workout, and you talk to Johnny first,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure. And then, because, even if the parent's there, you're out on the floor and they're sitting down, and,
Mm-hmm.
you got 100 or 50 feet on them.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not, they're not scared. They know their parents aren't listening. They can be honest. And,
Right, they're on their phones anyway.
Kind of
Johnny,
yeah. 9 times out of 10, that's
Right.
absolutely true. We always blame the kids. But
Right.
It's so true. But so I mean, you have a conversation with Johnny first, obviously, just to see, like,
Mhm.
I've had kids even try to lie to me and like, no, man, I want to do this. Like, you don't understand. Like,
Right.
and it's like, But then, you got to have the awkward conversation, depending on what Johnny says,
Mm-hmm.
with the parent, of just like, Johnny doesn't want to be here, man. I'm sorry. And I've trained kids that didn't want to be there before.
Mm-hmm.
And so just doing that and making that mistake myself, because it just doesn't help anybody. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, Johnny feels like they're wasting time.
Right.
You feel like you're wasting time because Johnny's not working out hard. He's not taking steps to better himself. There's no stress there. And,
Right.
the only way you change is stress.
Right.
Whether it's donuts and Twinkies on the couch, right? You get stressed, you
Yeah.
get bigger. All right. Or if it's working out or
So,
whatever.
I feel attacked.
Nah. Right. Yeah. Me too, actually. But there's stress there. Then, you have to talk to the parent, and they're, they don't want to be here. So after working with like 1 or 2 kids like that, I realized very quickly that it doesn't help anybody. It makes me frustrated. It makes Johnny frustrated. The parents get frustrated because Johnny's not getting better, and they don't think you're doing a good job.
Right.
And then that just escalates itself.
And they're paying money for it.
Right, yeah. So, and then, you've heard, if you do a great job, somebody will tell 1 person. If you do
Right.
a crappy job, then they tell 3 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And so,
if you're lucky.
And it can be the kid, like,
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's always, because there's bad trainers out there, and I've probably done a bad job before too, but, having 1 bad kid can lead into, bad things. And so, just from even just a business perspective, you want to, it's way better to work with kids that want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been, I mean, at least 2 come to mind where it's like, dude, I'm sorry, like, I'm really full right now. I don't think I can fit him in.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go that route, or you could just be, depending on what the kid says, you could be just blunt honesty. Just, oh man.
Have you told a parent like, look, I'm not going to coach your kid anymore? I mean, have you just been right out like, this isn't the right thing. He doesn't want to be here.
Not,
like,
not.
how so like
Oh.
how forceful have you ever been with a parent like, Johnny hates being here, and you
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
him? So, I mean, how like has everybody always picked up on the subtle hints, or have you always kind of been able to like softly exit it, or have you ever had to be like just very blunt, like, what are you doing to your child?
Yeah, no, there's just one time.
Oh yeah,
There's just one time.
okay.
Typically, I'll do a free session, and
Mhm.
then we price them based on 12, 15, or 18, and you try to set it up in such a way that everybody picks 18.
Uh-huh.
That way you get more time with their kid, they see more results,
Sure.
everything's better.
Classic methodology, by the way. You present people with 3 options, but only one.
But
is
really, they only have
the only
one.
one.
Right.
Anybody ever wants one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic
yeah.
maneuver, guys. But
Like,
anyway,
not literally 99 out of 100
Absolutely,
have
yeah.
chosen 18.
Oh, sure.
One chose 12 because it was like season time, you know what I'm
Sure,
saying? Like
yeah.
they only had time for
Yeah.
12, so it was like, well, we don't want to,
Classic tactic.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, the first one's free, and then everyone chooses 18, and we're probably 4 or 5 sessions in, and we just had to pull mom out because it was one of those where it's like, I've made a mistake, like, he definitely doesn't want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just refunded her,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know what else to do. I didn't.
How did she receive it?
She took it better than I thought,
Mhm.
and I think it's because I just gave her all her money back, and I said, "Look, dude, those 4 are on me. I'm sorry. Like, this is my bad.
I couldn't crack the code.
Yeah, you try to take as much blame as you can, but
Sure, because otherwise, in that situation, the kid's gonna the one get the lumps,
yeah,
right?
right. Because I mean, you don't want them to go home and be like, I can't believe you told the trainer that.
Right.
So I mean, you got to do it in a way that you're not gonna like the kid. You still want the kid to trust you because they might
Sure,
want to.
absolutely,
They
right.
might want to do it one day.
Right.
They might realize like,
Change your
man,
mind or come into love with a different sport.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to go back to that guy.
or 2
again.
years later, they're like, man, I'm actually decent.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could be better,
Mm-hmm.
and then they want to come back.
Yeah.
Not that the parent will ever bring him back here, but what are you gonna do? So you just
Or you never know, like, or it could be
Gosh.
that experience be like, like you I could still very well see a kid graduating from Louisville or whatever after. It's like, you know what, like, came here that time. Thank you for not forcing me to do that because
dude, yeah, it could
I was
happen,
able to
yeah.
now do these things. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Thank you for saying something on my behalf because
Right.
at that point in time you change it because even as parents, like, it's not that the parents are bad.
No,
There are parents that are, I'll say, incredible in that
Incredible.
manner.
Yeah, I mean, they just
but
want what's best for their kid, right?
You're right, and some are overzealous, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
So-
like, and sometimes those kids need a little bit
Yeah.
of help.
So that's the most awkward one, but
Yeah,
I mean, I tried to take as much brunt as I could.
sure.
So
Well, you're a big dude. Like, what are they gonna do?
here's your money back. It's,
Like, if you're there are any other
Here you go.
questions?
Yeah. Never
Flex
done that,
on
man.
them.
Never done
Yeah,
that.
never had to.
Never.
Well, the thing is, like, if as big as you are, I don't think you have to. I think it's
Oh,
already
goodness.
understood.
It's a concern thing. Okay, I see.
So okay, so
Goodness
let's
gracious.